Is Munna Lal there? Where has he gone?
This stranger's is not his face, not this the lane where he stays, not his, even the roof that leaks. These doors waited but for him to leave. This dwelling he never owned. His is a dream unfulfilled. Mine, a destination unknown.
Munna Lal does not know if his need will ever be addressed. Munna Lal the welder, the cobbler, the tailor, Munna Lal the street vendor, the carpenter, the potter. Simply because Munna Lal's wants are lost in a 900 million population, 85% of which are in need of everything and have little or nothing to give in return. He lives in a world where too many people clamor for the same shrinking spaces, where owning a house is an expensive luxury even for the well-off. For the likes of Munna Lal, it is a mere castle in the air. Back to earth, he bows to a fate of squalor and substandard living, from shack to shanty, without an inch to his name. We built hope for him for the first time in 1970 with the name of HUDCO, the Housing and Urban Development Corporation. Our concern was a shelter for Munna Lal. Our challenge to achieve it with a limited capital base of 20 million in a situation where finance was dear, building material expensive, and land exorbitant. But it is not figures and profits that come to mind when we think of Munna Lal, but how to reach him across the high hills, scorching sands and sultry seas. We adopted a broad-based delivery system, a system of being open to all kinds of partnership options. We financed Munna Lal through public and private housing agencies, cooperative societies, and non-government organizations. They helped us to get to him in the country's 1,440 towns, thousands of villages in 25 states and 5 union territories. Our understanding of his needs comes from their familiarity with his territory and lifestyle. To give Munna Lal loans on terms he could afford, we made our mark in a Robin Hood sort of way. Cross-subsidization. The method was as simple as sure. We financed the economically weak at low interest rates, repayable over comfortable periods of 10 to 15 years. What we subsidized here on our cost of capital, we made up on financing the higher income groups and by undertaking other remunerative projects. This innovative financing technique permitted us to earmark 55% of our resources for the poor on a continuous basis, and 45% went to the others. In this ratio, every 9 out of the 10 houses we finance are for the economically weak. But a shelter does not come within Munna Lal's reach with just easy finance. The very cost of the house has to match his income levels. If his earning is around 1,200 rupees a month, he can only budget 250 rupees or so towards the house loan. None of the housing schemes meant for him so far had taken this factor into account and ultimately failed to reach him. For the first time, we introduced the concept of a cost ceiling, a ceiling within which Munna Lal's house had to be constructed for him to afford it. To meet the ceiling, we designed solutions that are architecturally apt, cost-effective, and that optimize land use. A major breakthrough was that we replaced the high-rise, high-density myth with our low-rise cluster reality. A reality constructed to match traditional habitation patterns. The cluster concept enables higher density through a better planning of common areas. Moreover, individual dwellings can grow with the family without cluttering neighboring spaces. The families living within the cluster condominium have the exclusive use of a private space away from traffic hazards. The multi-purpose courtyards not only relate to different group sizes and lifestyles, but increase interaction between them and strengthens their sense of identity and security, which high-rise take away. We rose high with this outlook, from financiers to techno-financiers. We constantly looked for ways to bring down construction costs. So came the building centers. The building centers opened the doors to developing techniques from local materials to make housing cost-effective. We promote the use of energy-efficient and environment-friendly technologies like mud blocks, ferrocement, filler slabs, and channel roofing. The products manufactured here are marketed in order to benefit larger numbers. A number of people train here in the new building skills, making self-help the foundation of increased people's participation. That is why over 400 building centers have sprung up all over the country, making for a virtual construction movement away from mass-scale indifferent housing. We make this difference because we are different. We are the single largest techno-financing corporation in the country. The 20 million seed capital we started out with in 25 years has become 100 billion. In this time, we sanctioned over 11,000 projects with a loan commitment of more than 100,000 million, covering 400 infrastructural projects. $3 million low-cost sanitation units, and a contribution of 6 million households towards an overall housing shortage of 30 million, 90% of them benefiting the economically weak. Hard figures to show, solely because we are soft-hearted financiers with a soul to satisfy. Which is why we never say no, but go along with a basket of options to suit every pocket. We offer not just fully constructed houses, but skeletal housing minus the roof. Core housing, where we build up to the plinth level and provide cash loan for shelter. And the site and services scheme. Here we give a plot of land along with cash and facilities for sewage and water connection and well laid up roads. The families can then build according to their preference, purse and need. For all this to be viable, we need to recover our loan amount. We fund individuals through agencies that can assure us of an effective recovery system. For instance, the cooperatives have devised their own foolproof method of collecting loan dues. They deduct a monthly installment at the time of paying the artisan for his produce. When he pays for his shelter, he gains a precious commodity which charity cannot give him, the dignity of paying. From shelter to human settlements, we have struck upon the right economic, technological and human mix to sustain our end of housing Munna Lal. We make a difference to him, whether he is part of a squatter settlement in a milling metro or a disadvantaged member of the rural poor. And all this worked because we devised a techno-finance package that can be replicated anywhere in the world. It worked because we made cross-subsidization the basis of affordable finance for the poor. Because we evolved a network of building centers to promote and transfer cost-effective and appropriate technologies. It worked because we made realistic design and planning the key to sustainable housing for the poor. It worked because we were able to achieve the goal of social justice with profitability. But look at us, only through Munna Lal's eyes. As he goes down this lane to a house that he can with pride call his own, we know we have knocked at the right door.
Munna Lal ji?
Yes.
Oh, good. There's a letter for you.